Psychic cording. Etheric attachment cords, energetic ties, commonly form between people, places, timelines and objects, especially when the connections are deeply emotional in nature. These attachments clairvoyantly appear as long thin stringy cords, like great long etheric telephone wires. When these attachments remain between people, they can become a conduit for draining energy from the filled to the empty. Generally, this is usually from the person who has made the effort consciously or unconsciously to energize the one who is an energetic vampire. These cords can also send and receive pain, guilt, fear and any number of thoughts and feelings that may not even be yours. Also, traumas experienced at various times in one's life may create cording and fracture your energy to split off and be depleted into the past at the source event. Hence the importance of being present in the eternal now moment, as one has available all energetic resources when the consciousness is aware in present time. Much illness and imbalance is caused from depleted energy resources meant for the present moment use. However, the mental body is wearing an obsession over pain from the past experience, leaving the body severely depleted. Losing energy through cords. It is possible many times these cords drain away energy grid work from your etheric body where the attachment is attached, depleting the area of chi and leading to imbalance or disease. Often these problems can be perceived as a psychic attack when strong emotions flare up. You can muscle test or utilize a pendulum guidance to be clear whether what you are feeling is in fact an attachment, and then take steps to clear and release. The more attachments you carry, the more conduits for potential problems and loss of energy and grid work in your field. This will also slow your vibrational increase in one's efforts to evolve, as your light body is trying to build more grid work to maintain that energy level and vibration. Releasing attachments with unconditional love through forgiveness and self-acceptance goes hand in hand with spiritual growth. Attachments that form may be imbalanced or conflicted emotions that we are carrying in our beliefs and or connections to others. Lacking awareness of our personal boundaries, we give away pieces of ourselves energetically due to guilt, conditional love, and allow our power to be drained when we conform to another's expectations of us without allowing acceptance for who we are at the authentic levels. To fully release cordings, one must be able to identify and do an honest inventory of personal emotional behavior and habits. Any conflicting emotions should be separated out. If one is confusing love with support into codependence, or taking responsibility for others' happiness, then you are opening yourself up to invasion by others. The ambiguities of these interrelationships may prevent you from fully cutting the cords. Examining one's true self in comparison to the subtle abuses we are exposed to from external sources, such as our upbringing, religion, societal expectations and other programming, is important to gain clarity towards regaining our autonomy. Emotional wounds vulnerable to cording. As a practitioner in energetic healing, it has been clear for me that emotional conflicts left unresolved from the past will create sympathetic response in organs, tissues, areas of the body where the trauma may be projected and stored energetically within all layers of the body and its field. That particular event of perceived trauma or suffering will be lodged as a dark clump of negative goo or tar-like energy, sometimes with multi-cords, layers of attachments to various other life experiences that triggered the same response sourced at the original event of trauma. This compounds the original trauma with even more accumulated debris, and to my inner vision appears something like a dark clumpy octopus with tentacles sourced at various timelines and events that trigger the source dark clump of energy to activate the emotional body to experience further pain sensations. Commonly I experienced with clients the perception of a sensation of a deep wound of trauma, let's say as example, established as a very young child. The trauma timeline at the age of the child gets splintered, a piece of the soul's spirit fragments off from the pain of the experience and shuts down various energy functions that develop into psycho-spiritual wounds later as an adult. Deep wounds left unresolved make a pathway from the energy bodies to the physical body and lodge and store the trauma patterns cellularly, and the physical body starts to create imbalance unique to the incarnate's genetics, ancestral, karmic patterns and other factors. Emotional release, soul retrieval and additional physical body work, as in neuromuscular restructuring, is needed when the wounds are deep and held for a long period of time. 3. Cords used in manipulating emotions. I have witnessed an energetic entity, spirit attachments, multiple personalities or just a dark being latched onto this wound and manipulating the emotional response to that of its desire rather than to its unaware subject. This is why clearly it is important to break outside the 3D box we have been conditioned as our absolute reality and understand these dynamics and not allow anything uninvited in your energy field. The simple antidote to these phenomena is maintaining your personal power with the built-in God awareness you have in you, your intuitive faculties, and stating your right to command personal space. You will need to be responsible for your healing, in order for it to be permanent. Many times your inner child or sub-personalities will be sabotaging you from emotionally repressed and built-up fears. Sexual cords. One interesting factor to note is the energetic and physical act of sexuality and its implications on the energy field. The sharing of fluids between two people creates a spiritual bond or cord of energy that cannot be broken energetically, unless made aware of, cleared of conflict and transmuted. So psychological bonds may be broken once a serious relationship has ended, however the spiritual energetic cord still continues to exist. These cords are like electrical wires with energy passing back and forth through them, the power based on the depth and intensity of the connection. It is also important to understand that the thoughts and emotions held or the state of consciousness you are holding when you are having sex is what you are implanting into your partner. Naturally, being in love, holding loving thoughts with the desire to serve your partner is the goal when you are energetically blending at this level with another being. The incredible emotional impact of love as a force shared and blended in a soul union can burn off karma and even contribute an amazing force of transformation for others. Understanding these karmic bonds you create with people every time you have a sexual interaction surely creates more discernment in one's choices for a partner. Necessity of strong energetic boundaries. The more attachments we carry, the more conduits we have for potential problems and loss of energy in our particular grid work. So again, all energetic imbalance and disease really start getting created through the higher template structures, through the etheric body. When medical intuitives and clairvoyants can start to see imbalance in the etheric body, then that means the next step is going to be in a physical manifested, if it hasn't manifested already. So working with the etheric template fields is extremely important. You can avoid imbalances in your physical if you start working with the etheric template body through spiritual housekeeping and clearing it again, up and out. Cords can be formed when we allow our power to be drained when we are conforming to another's expectations of us. So anytime we are not fully in our authentic soul power by accepting who we are at the deepest authentic levels, and that's the big mind control program in the third dimension, we have been trained, conditioned to be programmed, that if it is successful, whatever the expectation is coming from in the social or family types of belief structures, this is where these cords also form. Attachments can be created when we're not in our personal power, and this is why it's so important to really be self-aware in our behaviors, spend meditation time getting to know who we really are, as well being conscious in all interactions and in our relationship with others. I believe that many times if we are lacking awareness in our own energetic boundaries, we will be easily corded and drained by an assortment of parasitic energies. We've been discussing the energy boundaries of where a proper auric boundary is, so that you're more self-contained and protected, which is again, 12 inches beneath your feet bubble, 3 feet above your head and about 4 feet in diameter around you is about where you should be holding your energetic boundaries. This is described in the 12D Shield practice. Forgiveness. It is important to know is that in the release of these karmic debts and these karmic cords is that one of the most potent frequencies, tones and colors to use to release these karmic cordings is forgiveness. So a lot of the times when we are releasing cords, when you're consciously cutting and clearing cords from another to directly use and also setting your intention, and as you are releasing that you are completely bringing into your body this tone, color of forgiveness. This emotional tone is a pink ray of energy that runs through many other tones, but is a main tone, and even if you just bring in the pink ray and that the intention is to hold the complete tone, sound, color and emotional qualities, that feeling related to forgiveness, unconditional forgiveness and unconditional forgetfulness. Forgiveness actually dissolves all of the karmic buildup, all of the karmic cording and karmic debt into the greater understanding of unity, and of accepting the lesson that has been learned or witnessing what happened with neutrality, from that position in time when that particular cording, that had, actually taken place,